Recording, please. Thank you. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Covington City Council special meeting. It's a joint study session with our Great Arts Commission. And this City Council special meeting is being held telephonically and virtually in compliance with state executive and legislative actions responding to the COVID-19 emergency. And with that, I will call this study session to order. And Krista, would you like us to just introduce ourselves? Do you want to call roll?
However you'd like to do it.
Okay, why don't we start with our Arts Commission, and I'll let them introduce themselves. I'll start with Marita.
Good evening, everybody. Marita Benedict, and I am the chair of the Arts Commission.
Welcome, Marita. Jessica.
Hi, I'm Jessica Breeden, and I'm the secretary of the Arts Commission.
Welcome. Patty.
Patty Melton. I'm the vice chair of the Arts Commission.
Welcome, Patty.
Thank you.
And I see Grajesh 7257. Sorry.
Jennifer Grayeski, but it's,
Okay.
yeah, but that's why the kids call me Mrs. G, and
Okay.
I'm a member of the Arts Commission.
Welcome. Thanks for being here
Thanks.
tonight. Lily.
Hello, my name is Lily Fernandez, and I'm also a member of the Arts Commission.
Welcome. Rebecca.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Lloyd, and I'm the newest member of the Arts Commission.
Welcome. And then we'll go with council. I'll start with Jennifer.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Harjahausen. Nice to meet you all.
Christina.
Hi, everyone. Christina Soltis, council member. Happy to be here.
And Beth.
Beth Porter, council member. Nice to see everyone.
Jared. We can't hear you, Jared.
Oh, is
Or
that?
see you.
There we go. Jared Kokel, nice to meet you guys. Having issues.
Joe.
Joseph Simomo, council. Nice to see everybody tonight.
John.
Good evening, everyone. This is Sean Smith. I'm on the council as well. Sorry I'm late.
And Pat. Nice.
Hi, everyone. Pat Patterson, staff liaison to the Arts Commission.
Regan.
Hey everybody, Regan Boley, city manager. Happy to be here.
And I am Jeff Wagner, your mayor. Did I miss anybody? Oh, I got everybody. Well, thank you all for being here tonight. And I'm going to turn this over to, is Marita, you going to run the meeting tonight for going over items for discussion?
I am. I
Okay.
am going to run the presentation, but I'm pleased to announce that everybody's going to have a little piece of the presentation today, so you don't have to just listen to me. Look at you guys. So I will go ahead and see if I can share my screen here. Let's see. We use Teams at work, so let me make sure if I'm okay. I think you're seeing the right screen. You can see the whole big presentation, right?
I cannot see
Oh, no,
anything.
I have to hit the share button apparently. Okay.
There you go.
Okay, great. Cool. So thank you everybody for having us tonight. And like I said, each of our commission members is going to take a little piece of the presentation. So I think everybody's excited, especially since we haven't seen a whole lot of each other, at least not all of the members of the commission over the last year and a half. I think I thought it would be a great idea for each of them to be able to have some interaction with you. So hopefully you enjoy that format. And we will go ahead and kick it off with some things that we were able to accomplish despite the fact that COVID was still a thing in 2021. And I will kick it over to Jessica.
All right. Well, as we all know, last year presented us with some challenges, and our art commission was no exception to that. So with all of the in-person art that we had been used to having, it kind of forced us to think a little bit more outside the box and get our wheels turning on what we can do virtually. So it took us bit of time and it was a little bit of a learning curve, but we actually presented our first virtual art show. And thank goodness for Facebook and Instagram as a way to push that out to the community and be able to get a digital reach where we couldn't have those in-person events. So luckily we got some entries from all different kinds of art mediums. And with the help of Carla, we were able to execute presenting all of the entries and then had the public vote, and the art commission also voted on what our favorites were. So we had varied mediums. There was some drawing, some painting. There was also some music and a video as well. So those were really awesome to see. And hopefully as we continue to do this every year, if we choose to do it again, our reach will expand so that more people will participate with it. But we awarded two awards were given, and one was for a People's Choice, and then the other one was for an art commission selection. And then we were able to provide honorable mention certificates for all of the participants so that they got some recognition. And then those two that were the award winners were featured on social media as well. So they got to have a little bit of exposure where maybe they hadn't before. It was a great way to showcase the local Covington community artists, and it was fun for us to see all the entries and also expand the art commission's virtual presence. So now that we know what goes into all of it, but hopefully next time we won't have any hiccups or less hiccups, less of a learning curve, and have a few ideas on how we can expand that for advertising it better next year. So it was awesome and it was fun.
Great, thank you. And I would like to also mention that Jessica, being a professional graphic designer, was able to help provide us, our commission, with some really beautiful professional graphics that allowed us to have a really professional presence online. And as always, a big shout out to Pat and then Carla for helping us execute that.
Absolutely.
So thank you, Jess. And next we have a few slides about something very exciting because it was also brand new for us this year. We have not really been able to embrace the performing arts as a commission yet. And with the addition of Jenny to our team, we had a very robust summer. So Jenny, would you like to share with the city council and everybody else, the staff, on how it went? And you're on mute. You need to unmute yourself.
You'd think I would know after remote teaching as long as I did. 20 years ago, I started a community theater in the Kent Covington area at the Ridge Theater that's been going. And we've done shows at Kentwood, at Kent Lake, at Kent Ridge, at Kent Meridian. We've hit all the high schools. This summer, we were not able to do a main stage production, but as I moved towards retirement, this is my 40th year of teaching, and I still presently teach. I started thinking about what I wanted to do when I grew up outside of teaching. And so I joined the Arts Commission because I figured I've lived in Covington 30 years. I've worked in the arts for 40. I was going to share whatever I could. And so this summer we decided it would be a good time to jump into doing some outdoor camps because they were allowed. So we had 40 little pre-K through second grade campers the first week, and then 45 campers the second week, third through sixth grade. 30% of the kids that we had in camps, with my correct connections with Kent schools, were kids from homes that could not normally afford to put their kids in something like a musical theater camp. So 30% of our kids were scholarshiped for this camp and did not pay a thing to be able to come and join. Quite a few of those kids came to us from Timberlane. So we were really excited about that. We worked outside, we did music, we chose Moana. We wanted to focus on people of color, but we also wanted to focus on women. So it seemed like Moana was a good choice. So the kids learned songs, they learned other languages, Native Hawaiian languages. And then we had a big end of camp celebration where they did a show for their families. And it was very, very well received. And we felt like it went great. And it gave 85 adorable little kids the opportunity to work with other kids and camp counselors and other people in the arts this summer. And then this just gives you a few of the pictures of some of the kids from the show and the different stuff we did. We also did concerts in the park. I worked with Pat to bring back some of our art performers to hold free 2 Disney themed concerts and 1 Broadway favorites concerts. We have kids from art over the last 20 years. We have Elsa currently in the Broadway tour of Frozen, is a kid that came through our program and is from this area, and many, many others working all over the world. And so not necessarily the ones working all over the world, but the ones working in Seattle and working locally, we were able to bring in to do some concerts and had 944 people attend those concerts. And it was a wonderful, the Parks Commission got new sod put out there and it was a nice grassy hill and we had great weather and great numbers. And it was a lot of fun out on the stage performing in Covington. This just kind of gives you an idea of the setup. People were socially distancing in family groups, et cetera. At that point, we supposedly didn't have to wear masks, so you won't see a lot of masks, but they did distance on that beautiful new sod that's now grass. And that was just some of our performers from one of our concerts, a number of which still live in Covington, and then some that are from the Seattle area and Kent area.
Awesome, thank you, Jenny.
Yes.
I know we always do questions at the end, but does anybody have any questions so far? Or shall I just keep going and we'll ask at the end? Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for sharing. Something else that I wanted to share with the group that was a new development, but I think a really awesome positive development was the partnership that ended up happening between Arts Commission and Parks this year. I mean, I know we're part of Parks, but you know, what we're realizing is that with the performing arts, it works really well if we come up with the programming and we utilize Jenny's talent and we talk about what the content is going to be, and then Parks is equipped to help do that, you know, with the actual execution of the programming. So it was a really nice way to see the synergy of the 2 departments. Well, I guess it's not 2 departments, the 2 entities working together. So I wanted to share that because I thought that was a big win as well.
Agreed.
And then moving on, I just wanted to touch on the commission partnerships. I know you guys have already heard me talk about this, but we were able to find some great synergy with the Economic Development Council, as you know, and the Equity, Cultural, and Social Justice Commission, who has already helped us out on one of our projects, which we'll touch on a little bit, one of our traffic box calls. I did tell Laura Morrissey when I saw her this last week, I said, you're next, your commission is next, because I think the commissions are enjoying the interaction and enjoying the momentum and enjoying just the camaraderie that we can find in working together. Yes, Sean, I see your hand up.
Yeah, appreciate that. I just following up on the last question with the kind of like the concerts and stuff. I'm just wondering, and maybe this will come later, but ideas for future events such as a talent show or something like that would be pretty cool. I think, doesn't Maple Valley have something like that? Maple Valley's Got Talent or something. So it'd be cool to have something in Covington.
You would not believe the amount of ideas that Jenny has.
Yeah. Okay.
It's fabulous.
Yeah,
it's like
good.
a fountain Jenny, I don't know that you and I haven't, I don't think we've talked about a talent show, but yeah, something for us to, I think, honestly, the concerts that you put on this summer were kind of talent shows, but I know what you mean, sort of more the traditional where it's a competition. But yes, I know now
Yes,
that we
something
have,
along those lines. Sorry. Yeah.
no, perfect. Now we have somebody that can kind of take those ideas, because I know you and I have talked about that before. We just didn't know how to execute on it. So thank you. Jenny,
Yeah,
did you
thank
want to
you.
respond to that at all?
I think that would be fun and another great idea. So we'll get on that.
Okay, so let's see. Talked about the traffic box calls. I talked to Laura that Parks and Rec is up next. I think something that our commission lightly touched on during our last commission meeting, so we still have a lot of fleshing out to do. But I know that we have talked with Cetus and Josh in particular about the interest in joining those two commissions together to put on some sort of art walk. And that would be within the businesses. And so we could combine, generating foot traffic in our local businesses along with bringing student art in. And, it doesn't even have to be just student art. It could be any type of art, music, hopefully. So I think that there's a lot of excitement amongst the groups about trying to work on that this coming year. So really excited about that. And then I just have a couple more slides and then I'll turn it over to somebody else. But I know that Josh presented this larger presentation to you all last year, and I just wanted to bring up a couple of the points just to keep them fresh in everybody's mind, because the partnership is solidifying about how important arts and culture is to the U.S. economy. It pumps in over $900 billion a year. And art as a placemaking initiative, especially coming fresh off of the Vision, Mission, and Goals workshop that a bunch of us were in this week. I think it's, this just helps solidify that whole thought process that arts is, really important for placemaking, and the healthy creative sector attracts and retains residents and businesses and produces economic benefits, including jobs, a stronger tax base, and tourism. And then on this side, just why public art, a couple of things that I like to focus on that creates focal points that can become destination drivers, which I know I've talked about a lot, is creating enough art that it will draw people in from the outside. And the performing arts is a huge piece of that, as Jenny knows. And then revitalizing deteriorated or underutilized spaces increases safety and inspires redevelopment, which is also a lot of the themes that we talked about in those workshops on Friday and Saturday. And with that, we will go over to current projects. What are we working on now, and what will we continue to work on in the next year? So with that, we are going to have Lily present to us.
Hello, everyone. Okay, so one of our current projects is the traffic box call phase 2, where we have drafted a call for the second phase of putting art on the traffic boxes. The art theme for this call will be around inclusion and acceptance, and we have worked with the Equity, Cultural, and Social Justice Commission in crafting the language of this call. Through this call, we wanted to highlight how part of celebrating a diverse community is having that diversity reflected through works of art on display. We are actively encouraging artists of diverse and/or underrepresented backgrounds to submit, because everyone should have an opportunity to see themselves as valued and seen part of our community. In addition, the art submission guidelines have been adjusted to make it easier for artists who may not be as comfortable with technology to participate. Artists can either submit their materials via email or can submit it in person to the City Hall. The five new locations that we are considering are 172nd Avenue Southeast and Southeast 272nd Street, 180th Avenue Southeast and Southeast 256th Street, 156th Avenue Southeast and Southeast 256th Street, 164th Avenue Southeast and 251st Street, and 192nd Avenue Southeast and Southeast 267th Street. These are 5 possible locations currently under consideration, but from a budgetary standpoint, we will most likely be choosing only 4 or possibly 3 locations. We chose these locations because they are located in a central traffic area, and putting art there will draw a lot of attention and viewing. We also want to get art out in areas of communities that feel neglected. Okay, and then another project that we are currently working on is the rotating art program. The rotating art project is the art that goes on these pads and will be changed out every so often. An example of this project is in Auburn, where they rotate their art every year so that new art is featured. But we are still determining what that time frame will be for us here in Covington. An update with this project is that the engineering work for these pads are 96% complete, which is super exciting. And also the specs for the installation of art coming from the engineering department will be included in the call for artists. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any questions on those? Jennifer?
Hey, thanks. I do have some comments, but I'll hold those to the end. But one quick question. I believe the Taco Time utility box was taken out and the wrap not replaced. Has that been replaced? Was it the Taco Time box? I don't know street names. I know restaurants and business.
That was one of the, I think it was the first box on the list was the Taco Time.
Oh, good. Okay, thank you so much.
That's good, because I guess I didn't know either.
Fine, I was like, it was taken out, right? I'm not misremembering all of this. All right, thank you.
Marita, I've just got a quick question on, does the commission have any kind of maybe data that would show how the public perceives rotating public art compared to a permanent installation like Metamorphosis?
I don't have any data on that, and I don't know if maybe Pat does. If not, we could maybe ask other cities if they do.
Well, one of the reasons, just because of some of the discussions we've had, especially with you coming to CETUS, is a really kind of centered, making Covington a destination based off of the art. And maybe the rotating part is a great idea. Maybe having, you know, a centerpiece that we're known for is a good idea too. But I was just curious about that.
I mean, this isn't data driven by any means, but for my marketing brain, I could see, obviously, I think the Metamorphosis is our signature piece of art that we can own and we can really tout, you know, when we get to the place where Carla can help us start promoting our art programming, but we can start inviting people to come in and say, hey, here's a little map, here's an arts map, come check out all of our art. I think
cool.
that the Metamorphosis gives us that place to hang our hat. This is what this helps symbolize Covington, and it's really cool. And come use all, you know, visit the park and use the cool play equipment as well. But then when we have rotating art, it gives us the opportunity to reach out to those people that we know came to visit us the first time and invite them to come back because we have something new to share, something new and exciting. So I think I would just venture to say that it'd be interesting for the residents themselves because it gives them something new to see and something new to be excited about on a regular basis, but also gives us an opportunity to talk to the you know, surrounding regions and invite people to come back. That's just my personal marketing opinion though.
That works, thanks.
Okay, thank you, Lily. That was fabulous. And then let's see, I think this is Patty.
Yes. All right. So what I'd like to talk about now is our maintenance plan.
Oh, wait, sorry, Patty. Good night. Beth, do you have a question? I see your hand up. Sorry, Patty.
Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you. Sorry. So I have a quick question about the vinyl utility wraps. I know they're pretty standard and have a lot of benefits, not just from the art perspective, but from anti-graffiti and that type. But I also wonder if anyone has explored the option. I happened to reach out to the gentleman, Desmond Hansen, who does the painting of the utility boxes in Seattle. And he charges like $500 to do art on the box, including materials. And I'm wondering if the budget is constrained, is there an opportunity to maybe look at an option like that for a couple that are maybe out in neighborhoods, for example, because it is much cheaper than what a vinyl wrap would cost.
I think they'd always be interested in different options for sure. Did you mentioned the graffiti though? Does he is that part of it, that it's graffiti resistant or no? 'Cause
Yeah,
I-
he does a graffiti and a anti-graffiti coating on it. Now, I don't know how often it has to be reapplied. I mean, obviously the vinyl wraps are more durable. But you know, maybe as an opportunity to get art in, like I said, in neighborhoods rather, you know, that we wouldn't necessarily be able to hit.
Yes, if
but-
you could send that information over, we'd love to look at it.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, Patty.
Are we ready?
Yes.
Okay, so I want to talk about the maintenance plan. We currently have 3 public outdoor art pieces that may need maintenance over time. And those are our newest one, Metamorphosis, which is still in fantastic condition because it's brand new. And we also have our Seahorse at the Covington Pool. And after an inspection of that one, everything is as expected. It looks great. No maintenance is needed on that. The one item that does require some maintenance is the skate park mural. That park is super popular with kids, and the art is beginning to fade over time. And so we are contacting the artist that painted it originally for some direction on how to refresh that, repaint it, recoat it, whatever he recommends. And then we are hoping to move forward on that just to keep it nice for the kids. And so that hopefully will be happening here pretty soon. As far as other projects that we have going on, Marita, you can change the slide, I think. We are working on an art commission work plan, and you may already be familiar with this document or very similar documents from other commissions, but we are working to develop one for the Arts Commission. Our goal is to have a written document listing our overall goals, strategies, and objectives and expectations of the commission and each individual commissioner. This document is in process and should be completed by our next monthly meeting. And the next topic is our 2022 planning retreat. After a 2-year hold on our annual retreat, we're happy to announce that we will be meeting again and holding our annual retreat in early 2022. Other than Marita and myself, we have a whole new team and are looking forward to coming together to reevaluate, plan, brainstorm, and in some cases, meeting our newest members in person for the very first time. So that will be super exciting. We are excited to see what comes out of this retreat. So stay tuned for some amazing content. And then the final thing I have to talk about this evening is funding for the Arts Commission, sustainable funding. After all of the interesting and informative things that you've heard over the last few minutes or hour, half hour, we would like to turn your attention to some funding for the Covington Arts Commission. Coming up soon at the annual budget meeting, we believe you will be presented with a decision card to reinstate our normal funding level. As a reminder, this level of $1 per resident per year was reduced to 50 cents due to the passing of I-976. And we would like to encourage you to reinstate this funding now that I-976 was overturned by the Washington Supreme Court. So I feel like that will clear the way for everything to get back to normal, I hope. And then in addition to that, we have a more long-term goal we're sure you will be interested in: art supporting art. I'm sure you would agree that having the Covington Art Commission support itself would benefit the city. Art supporting art is a long-term goal we have to accomplish this. The city currently collects 2.5% admissions tax. Currently, no funds are being collected because there isn't anything that collects admissions. In a few years, there's a rumor or a possibility of a movie theater going into Lake Point, which would collect this fee. Following the example of our neighbors in Issaquah who have already implemented this plan, we propose, number one, to increase the admissions tax to the local standard of 5%. We contacted several cities around the area, Federal Way, Kent, just everyone around us, and 5% is the standard collected for this if they collect it. Number two would be to set up a municipal art fund by ordinance where the admission tax would go directly into. And then number three, over time, This funding would potentially replace all or part of the current funding provided by this city. Another interesting point is that this fee would also be collected from residents of other surrounding cities who visit the theater, not just our own citizens. We realize that this change is years away. We also realize that it takes time to lay out the groundwork for this process, and we want to be ready. Our goal is to have art supporting art, and I'm sure you will agree that just makes sense. So that is the end of my presentation. So I'm going to turn it back over to Marita for questions.
That is actually the end of the whole presentation, if you guys can believe it, how brief we were. Sean, I saw your hand up first, and then I see Jennifer.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So just a couple things on Patty, on your presentation, when you were talking about the seahorse, yeah, I think it'd be good if when we refresh that, maybe we do a rededication as well. Always look for opportunities to let people know. So, you know, if we're investing money in keeping it up, making it look good, let's have a ribbon cutting or something, or, you know, maybe it's, I don't know what its anniversary is. If it's a 5 or 10 year anniversary, we can celebrate. But anyway, I just think that might be something to do. And
Can
then
I interrupt you for 1 second? You
Yeah,
said
sure.
seahorse, but we were talking about redoing the skate park. Did you mean that?
Oh, I thought, so I saw the picture of the seahorse on there, but the
Oh.
skate park would be fine too. So,
Okay, gotcha.
yeah, refreshing that and then, you know, doing a rededication of that, I think would be even more appropriate. So,
Okay.
you know, so maybe we can even get a, some type of, event or presentation or demonstration or, you know, exhibit of, local, skateboarders. That'd be outstanding. So,
Great.
and at some point, we should probably talk about, I've been thinking I have a lot more experience now with someone with limited mobility, and there are actually wheelchair Olympic events that they're always looking for venues to do these things. And so we might want to talk about that in the future. So, but I really do like the thinking you're putting toward sustainable funding for arts. I did see it in the budget package that, you know, that to put the $1 per resident back in the budget. So we're definitely taking a look at that. I like the admissions fee idea too. If you guys could send us more on what the other towns are doing, be helpful for us to have that. And I'll just put in a plug now. If we do it now and we put that in, it'll be like it's harder when we have funds come in and then we have to redirect it, as opposed to let's do it now before we get it. And then, you know, it's like, hey, there, it's already there. But anyway, and then you said something about a municipal art fee. I didn't quite get that or understand what that was, but
That
anyway,
wasn't
good
a
job.
fee, but the city of Issaquah has been kind of helping us with this just because they've already gone through it all. And so what they have set up is they have the admissions tax set up, but when it comes in, when the theater sends it in, it just goes right to the municipal, what did I say it was called? The Municipal Art Fund, I think. And so it just, Art Fund, and it was created by an ordinance. And so it just goes right there. There's no extra handling of it. It just comes in and goes there. So they have it set up just directly for the arts. Does that explain?
Yeah, thank you. Well, yeah, obviously we'll talk about that more as it gets more mature. So, all right, thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Jennifer?
Hey, I got disconnected earlier. If it happens again, I will call from my phone and play that whole game. But anyway, I did actually have a question similar to Sean's about the Municipal Art Fund, and was going to ask if there was a particular city doing that. And so you answered that when he was talking about that. But they're doing that instead of having the funds go into their general fund, correct? Which puts them, therefore putting them in this art fund protects them for art. So it's really art funding, art, not art funding, you know, other stuff at discretion, correct? Is that how I understood it, Patty?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
okay,
that's how they
I was
have it
just
just set up.
okay. And then just a few comments that came to mind when you guys were giving a great presentation. I wanted to say about the virtual art show. You know, I know I have artist friends. I'm not an artist, but I know I have amazing, beautiful artist friends. And some of them participated in the virtual art show, and the pride that they had in being able to display their art was pretty awesome to see. And it was cool to get to like see my friends' art in the show and to get to, you know, see them like sharing it and, you know, asking people to check it out. And also all the different mediums that were submitted was really awesome as well. So I just wanted to let you guys know that I just saw that pride come through from the artists themselves, and that was pretty cool to see. Also, I did not know that the theater camp had 30% of the kids going were benefits of scholarships. That's amazing, because my kids are, you know, this privileged bunch that get to go participate in camps and swim lessons and forest school and all these amazing things. And it's really important that every kid has that opportunity. So a huge thank you for making that possible. And I hope that continues. And I hope that you guys, you know, have access to funds that allow you to even do more of that, because people really learn their passions when they get to be in these types of environments and connect with their community. And there's just so many great things. And then also the public art and its importance. A big thing for me personally, when I think about public art and why it's important, is that it's a reflection of the community. It's a reflection of our identities and our values. And it's not privately funded, right? So it's not a marketing strategy by a business. It's not something to get you to come in and buy something. It's not trying to get you to feel something. It's a reflection of who we are as Covington. So huge thank you. You guys are doing great. I love that everybody had a piece. This has been really helpful. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Beth and Regan, I see. I'm not sure who had their hand up first. So Beth, would you like, or Regan?
Beth can go first.
Okay.
Regan. Yeah, so we might find a little bit more out about this, but the municipal fund piece, so when we passed that, I thought, right, the 2.5%, but isn't it supposed to automatically go in, or was this another resolution that was done after the fact? Do you know how they did it in Issaquah? I guess this is more to Patty, maybe.
I don't know, but I can find out.
Okay, or if we had it situated already set up, or however that works. So, okay.
Yeah, I'll find out.
Thanks. Yeah, great. I really appreciate the forward thinking of how we can continue to have art funded and what that might look like. And art supporting art is a fabulous credo to strive for. So this is for Jennifer then. Where were the scholarship funds come from for that camp? I think that's a great, it's great to be able to afford that opportunity to kids. And I know was it a county or school district? Or?
Well, no, actually, it just came from everybody involved in the camps and the organization of the camps and the teaching of camps, including myself. We're all volunteers. So any of the money we took went for t-shirts and supplies, and Disney is incredibly expensive. So when we chose Moana, that was a $1,500 hit. So it's just building the budgets, which I have been over 20 years, but allowing for in that budget to have children come and be part of the camp that wouldn't normally get to do that. And just a little aside on that, I really think as we look at what Issaquah's done and we think back to Issaquah started with a little storefront theater that now is Village Theater and is one of the top regional theaters in our nation and is often awarded. City of Kent in 2001 had an opportunity to put a performing arts center in, and I was on that board, and it went to an election and it failed, a very close election in the city of Kent to build a performing arts center. I think not planning for the South Sound as a whole does not plan well for the arts, particularly the performing arts. And we can really get onto that wagon of being a thriving area by not just having our athletic programs. The city of Kent has all their athletic programs. They do not have the kind of arts programs that happen in Issaquah. And I just think it's really something as Covington's growing, and I've been a resident here for 30 years and watched it grow, that we really need to think about, because the arts is so important to who we are, our identity. Covington's going to change radically. We look what's happened to Kent. Kent's one of the 10 most diverse cities in the nation right now. And I can tell you right now, as someone who teaches at Kentridge, Covington's going to feel it over the next 5 to 8 years. And I just think it's something we really need to be aware of and plan for in everything that we do. So I just encourage us to think, you know, and I looked at the aquatic center and all that. I'm a little concerned that the arts is being forgotten, and it can't be. So that's just Jenny's soapbox.
So then just to clarify on the scholarships, it was money that came in for the programs, just the general admissions, but it was covering other
Yes,
people. And you all
we
were
charged the
volunteering.
campers that came to camp were charged $125, which is a much less than Village Theater's camps at $450. Fifth Avenue has them up over $500. So our goal is to make it affordable for families to come and experience, you know, singing, acting, dancing, all of those things, performing. But then we also absorb within that $125 the other kids, and we just plan in our budgeting for that 30%. We know right off the top that that's coming off and that we're going to cover those kids. The other thing that really helped us was Pat allowed us to take donations at the concerts. Everybody who came and did the concerts for us did them for free. We didn't pay anybody, and the city didn't pay us. Well, actually, that's not true. The city paid us $200 a concert. So that $200 a concert, that $600 that we were paid, rolled that right back into those scholarships for kids.
Great, thank you for clarifying that.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Kim?
Yeah, we were talking about the admission tax, and Sean, you had asked about for the commission to bring in additional information. That's actually coming up on a future agenda. I think next month we'll be presenting that to council.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you very much. And I see Christina's hand up.
Yeah, there you go. Unmuted. Thank you. What a wonderful presentation. The more you spoke, the more my memories kept coming back of drama club, of playing the piano for one of our drama performances in college, and just on and on. And I mean, like, sometimes I think I'm not artsy, but then I'm like, wait, hold on, let's go back and just look at this. And it's, you know, the performing arts theater, that is such a great idea. I know that sometimes people don't think they're into art until they see it, and they see it brought to life, and something inside of them gets brought to life. And just, if that is, especially considering the fact that there is nothing like that on the South Sound or the South side of our county, it might not only be, you know, a good creative idea, but potentially, you know, a good financial idea. I do very much like the idea of art funding art. It seems like it's just a very fiscally responsible position to stand and not have to, as we talked about, you know, just go into the general fund. And then, like Sean said, I believe, where we'd have to pull away, rip away, you know, that always hurts a little bit, but when it's never there, it just kind of just happened. So great idea. And Jennifer, it looks like you have so much experience with just creating opportunities for kids who wouldn't otherwise have them. And I even get choked up a little bit because I was that little girl who was 5 years old, who didn't speak a word of English, who's creative, and who eventually just got so many opportunities to grow, to dig in, to really find herself and find a passion. And now I'm actually a choir teacher for this season, or for this season. And how awesome would it be to have a place to perform? I'm just saying, like, these are things that aren't even options, but if they could be. So thank you for thinking ahead.
So you're going to conduct the Covington Youth Choir?
Done.
Yeah,
I'll even
okay.
play the piano. I'll sing. I'll do whatever I can. You don't have to ask me twice.
Yeah.
But like Jennifer Hardenhauser, our boys are so, I wouldn't say just privileged, but we're so blessed. And if I knew that 30% of my ticket was going towards somebody, I'd probably put another 30% on top of that. And I think a lot of parents would do that.
They do.
Good. So thank you. Just feeling very inspired, very encouraged, and grateful for all that you do.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Wow. You're feeling good, Jenny? I mean, any other questions or comments? Okay, well, I want to thank each of the commissioners for helping present tonight. That was really fun for me to listen to you talk about what we've been doing and what we've accomplished over the last year. And thank you to the council and the staff for all the comments and questions. Really thoughtful discussion tonight. And I think I probably speak for all of the commissioners when I say that we really appreciate that type of interaction. And I'm glad that we've all been working toward things that you're interested in. So thank you very, very much. Appreciate your time and your support.
Thank you, Marita, and thank you to each of you on the Arts Commission. It was a very good presentation tonight, very well done, very well articulated with everything, and I was excited before the meeting. Now I'm even more excited to see how things are going to come to fruition. So thank you each very much for all the hard work that you've put into this and all the hard work you do for our community.
Thank you.
So if there's go ahead, Marita.
Oh, I was just saying thank you.
So if there's no other questions, then I guess our joint session is concluded. And thank you again all very much. And then we can stop the recording and we'll go for a break and start our council meeting at 7 p.m.